Could places like this be the key to climate-neutral mobility? For decades, scientists at this research plant in southwest Germany have been seeking to unlock the potential of hydrogen for Mercedes-Benz. The GLC F-Cell, Germany's first mass-produced hydrogen vehicle. Rev reporter Joachim went for a ride in it. You helped create this car, didn't you?
Yes, in the development.
Do any of the nuts or bolts have your name on them?
No, but the software does.
Tell us about the energy flow.
In this view, you can see the battery is at the back and the fuel cell system at the front. If I step on the gas, then most of the energy will come from the fuel cell.
The fuel cell generates the energy directly inside the car and runs on hydrogen. Could this be a viable solution for the global goal of zero emissions driving? Mercedes' research in this area goes back almost 30 years. In 1994, it unveiled the Car 1 delivery van. Almost all the cargo area was taken up by the hydrogen fuel tank and generators. This is the drivetrain of the latest model, together with the tanks containing the hydrogen. Christian Mordig is proud. He's in charge of developing the revolutionary technology that has so far cost Daimler more than €1 billion.
The amazing thing is that this car emits water in the form of steam, or maybe droplets depending on the temperature, plus a little heat. In other words, the car is completely emissions-free.
And that's the point, cutting and ultimately eliminating the carbon dioxide emissions produced by combustion engines. Although, nuclear options aside, the energy obviously has to come from somewhere. Electricity from renewable sources could be used to create green hydrogen fuel in large quantities with minimal emissions. But that's still a dream with a hefty price tag attached. One reason why Daimler has only built around 100 GLC F-cells to date. What would it cost me?
€799 a month in leasing fees. And that's everything included.
Not the answer I was expecting. And what if I wanted to buy the car? How much would that cost me?
We don't sell this car for various reasons.
You're not selling this car?
No, not even to you.
So why did you build it?
We built it to help us gauge the market for fuel cells, to test the infrastructure, and to increase awareness of the issue.
With so few on the road? Which is a shame, by the way. The car has a range of more than 400 kilometers and is served by almost 80 hydrogen filling stations across Germany, putting the country second only to Japan. A central figure in setting up that network, Sibylle Rieper. The cars take just 3 minutes to fully refuel.
All the way in, then lift up the lock, and that's all you have to do.
And the hydrogen flows in there?
And now you just push the start button. The test pulse you can hear is the filling pump checking how much is still in the tank and whether everything's properly sealed. When it gets the all clear from the car, it starts to fill it up.
Can you hear that funny squeaking sound?
That's just the compressor, nothing to worry about.
But we have to...
Everything's fine.
So we're filling up with hydrogen. Where do you get it from?
The crucial question, because hydrogen only makes sense if we generate it from a renewable source and without CO2 emissions.
So we're done?
You just have to unlatch it. Right. And now pull it out. Easy, right? Put it back in its holder, and you've completed your first hydrogen refueling.
The tanks can hold 5 kilos of hydrogen at €9.50 a kilo, enough to take you 400 kilometers. What does it feel like at the wheel?
Fantastic. It's so light and so silent, too. Acceleration is instant. The power goes straight to the axles, which you notice. It's a lot of fun to drive. It feels so smooth, a bit like flying.
Do you have to be tech-savvy to drive this car?
No.
Thankfully, that's also true with the current market leader, Toyota's Mirai. Erden Yildizdal explains how the hydrogen cars work. Does it even have an exhaust?
It's barely visible. It's a little plastic water pipe. This is where the steam exits, and you can see there's a bit of water on it. The car takes in oxygen from the air through the compressor at the front.
O for oxygen.
Exactly. The oxygen is then forwarded to the fuel cell, where it's combined with H2.
Hydrogen.
Yes, and in the fuel cell, the molecules conjoin. The marriage of hydrogen with oxygen releases electricity, and this charge is passed on. The resulting energy powers an electric motor, which drives the car.
Toyota has sold 10,000 Mirais since its launch in 2014. The Japanese car giant wants to increase production capacity and bring the price down considerably. What would it cost me?
The list price is 78,600 euros.
Base price?
All the extras are standard.
And guess what? Government subsidies and buyer incentive bonuses effectively slash the price of the Mirai in Japan by almost 50,000 euros. Japan is leading the way when it comes to helping hydrogen technology take off. There are even plans to put a hydrogen-powered rover on the moon. Mirai just so happens to mean future, and the Japanese evidently see hydrogen as the fuel of tomorrow on Earth and further afield. Back in Germany, research and development is, by comparison, still out in the cold. But don't forget, it's not the road you take, it's getting there that counts. And greater political commitment would surely break the ice.